Back in early July, we dropped the first video going into the Bel-Air farms, or the Woodhood farms, and if you missed that video, make sure to check it out because there's a lot of really good, well, all of the info that you need to know covering farms, so make sure to watch that if you missed it. Well, since that video dropped back in July 6, we have been operating and the farm has been churning along. We're planting and harvesting along, whatever you want to call it, and it's been going really, really well. We've been cataloging along the way, and so far the Woodhood farm, or the Bel-Air farm in this case specifically for plot number 1, has been able to collect 129,764 UPICs. Now, that's the last 2 months, plus whatever we've been able to collect going into September, and I actually just collected today's, adding another 1,900 to the list. So the farm in and of itself has been going very, very well, churning at about 56,000 UPICs per month. Now, of course, we split that harvest among all of the nodelers and farmers that go into the plot, but that's where we get to talk about some really fun stuff because now, well, the Bel-Air farm is expanding. If you might have noticed at the bottom of that spreadsheet, I don't know if my body was covering it or not, but it said Bel-Air plot 1, and then next to it was Bel-Air plot 2, and that's because it's time for the farm to expand. Hey there, John Henry here, SSFTG. Welcome to the video. If this is your first time on the channel, welcome my friend. I hope to earn your like and subscription today. That's right, the time has come for the farm to expand for the Woodhood farmers. And this is where we get to have a lot of fun because the last time around we were minting in Bel-Air, the largest property that was available to mint, which is what we did mint, was at 2.383 million UPICs. And that's churning some serious profits for our farmers so far. But things have changed and some time has passed since then, and the largest plots in Bel-Air at the moment are 1.966, 1.934, 1.927. We'll just basically say right around 2 million UPICs, give or take. So that's going to be the objective as far as selling seeds going into the new farm, is looking at a target of around 2 million or so. Now, when we're talking about seeds and harvest and all of that kind of stuff, what does all of this mean? Again, going back and watching that last video, the first video that goes over farms and covers all of that, it's going to be a pretty big prerequisite. I would highly recommend going through and watching that because that's going to fill you in on all of the blanks. A very fast TLDR, though, is that the Woodhood farm is a way that us nodelers, and this is specifically only available to those who have properties in the Woodhood node in Sherwood Forest, Detroit. So, remember, if you're not a nodeler, unfortunately this isn't something you can participate in, but it adds another incentive or another reason as to why you might want to consider jumping in the node if you haven't yet. But it's a way for us nodelers to come together into these monstrous collections, and instead of just coming in at the bare minimum just to kind of squeak by coming together and working as a team, again, you know our motto, together we win, this is another case of that happening. We can go out and mint the largest properties available and use that profit to harvest and distribute to our nodelers instead. Very, very incredible bang for your buck. The last time around was the first time that we have ever done something like that. So obviously the beautiful thing is we've learned a lot since then, and we can make this a little bit more fluid. So the first part of this is that seeds are going to be sold at 1,000 UPICs per one seed. It's way easier to do math that way than some crazy arbitrary well, it wasn't arbitrary, but some crazy number. I don't want to mess with that. One seed is 1,000 UPICs. Let's keep it simple. And let's make it even simpler and jump over and actually bring up the spreadsheet. And I got to make sure that I'm not covering too much of this because we got to make sure that we can see it. There we go. Perfect. So this is where we're going to be looking at building into Bel-Air farm plot number 2. There are going to be 2 parts of this. I personally have 100 seeds, and that is going to be the seed cap at the moment. 100 seeds is 100,000 UPICs, relatively straightforward stuff. The next part is going to be the SBCT, and you may have heard me talk about that before, but let me clarify what the Seed Bank Charitable Trust is. The SBCT is what we utilize to mint properties for giveaways for nodelers, to fund operations for different events, for different NFT draws, I mean, you name it, that's what the whole primary purpose of the SBCT is. And all of the profits that we are generating in UPICs goes into this seed bank vault that we can utilize into these different types of things. So by having an SBCT allocation in the farm, just like we do in the first farm, which is right here, the last time around was about about 20 seeds. And you'll notice there have been a couple withdrawals from this while we do different giveaways and different things like that. So we are utilizing these types of things for those events. And this is another one where we're going to be starting out at 100. Now, each seed cost starts out at 1,000. And this is going to be building in towards our overall objective of raising 2 million UPIX to start this next farm. Now remember, the overall largest plot was 1.966 or something like that. So once we hit that threshold, then we're probably going to have to cut it for this farm and go on to the next one and see maybe how soon we're going to have to add a third plot. There's been a lot of demand and begging me to go into this second one, so I'm kind of curious to see how long all of this goes. Now you'll notice the actual growth rates. If we go back to the Bel-Air farm, these are our actual numbers looking at the true math of this. We're sitting at a fee-adjusted growth rate of around 25.744% harvest, which is incredible. That's bonkers, right? That really is exciting stuff. When I'm looking at this, I always underpromise. I'm a big fan of underpromise, overdeliver, and this is one of these scenarios where the fee-adjusted growth rate sitting at 18.902%. Realistically, that will probably go higher once we start getting things minted, as we saw on the last farm. There are two different types of farm allocations every month. We have a monthly harvest, which is denoted in this purple number 1 here next to your name. If you do sign up and you want to choose monthly harvest, please let me know, because that means that every month we go in and we withdraw how much your harvest was, and it gets sent to you every month as a form of harvest, right? So you're taken care of. For those who are interested in crop rotation, that's where they are able to utilize their rotated profits, basically, from the last farm into this new one. That means that they automatically have a spot in this new farm straight out of the gates, right? There's no questions, there's nothing asked. They are already in if they so choose. So again, first off, one of the big things to keep in mind, you have to have a property in the Wood Hood to be able to participate as a farmer. Secondly, you have to be in the Discord server, because that's where we do all the communications for the farm and, well, really everything. So get in the Discord server. Even if you're not interested in becoming a farmer, you should be in there regardless. But make sure to get into the Discord server, because that's where you can get into the Bel-Air farm chat server and get everything going from there. Now, seeds that are available, remember, there are fees when you transfer something. There's 5% on your end and 5% on my end. So we've got to make sure that when you're sending it, 1,000 UPIX is landing on my end, because anything under 1,000 has to come out of my pocket, and my pocket would be the SBCT. I would prefer not to drain the SBCT if I don't have to. I like using that for giveaways and fun stuff, not to cover the difference in fees. Of course, there have been those who like to oversend to help out with that case as well. That's always very welcome, but not necessary. I'm just looking for 1,000 UPIX per seeds with 100 seed max. Now, here's the thing, right? At 1,000 UPIX per seed, anybody can participate with as little as 1 seed. But if we look at how many seeds are actually available after the 100 to me and the 100 to the SBCT to make sure that things are running there, that leaves us 1,800 seeds left. Well, that's only 18 people on max. So if this were to spill over, our next objective is going into the 4 million UPIX mark. If we hit 4 million UPIX, that means that we are going to fully complete into a third plot to keep this rolling. I want to make sure that we have as much space as possible, and at the moment we have 2 more spots available if needed, but I'd like to try to save that last one for future use if possible. But if it goes crazy, we do have room to go up to that 4 million mark. Now, going a little bit further, just to save some time, I've gone through and added everybody who had crop rotation selected from our first farm plot in Bel-Air added to the list. Now, I'm going to go through and add up how many seeds they have, but just so you can see how I'm getting these numbers, I'm a big fan of transparency. So over on Farm Plot, let's look at Cal Trading Co. as an example. If we go over here on Cal Trading Co., they had 50 seeds the first time around, which is absolutely incredible, but over here, we can see in their seed balance total, they have 3,600 UPIX available. So that means that, based on round numbers, that is 3 seeds. So minus 3,000 UPIX for the rotation into the next farm. So we can go over here, and now right out of the gates, there are 3 seeds in their name, ready to lock and load, and their place in this farm is set. That does mean that if they want to go up to 100 seeds, they have 97 seeds left that they can purchase if they want, and their spot in the farm is already locked. That's how I'm getting the numbers, just so that we're on the same page. So I'm going to go through and get the rest of this list filled in so we know the exact numbers that we're working with. All right, so I've gone through and I've added up all of the allocations, so we are all ready to rock and roll. Anybody who was in crop rotation that was under 1,000 UPIX, the seed bank activated and covered the difference to bring them up to at least 1 seed, the perk of being a Woodhood Noodler. So you were covered there, we're good. So everybody who has crop rotation is in the new Bel-Air plot with at least 1 seed, and everything else from there all the way up to, I think the highest one was up to 7. Now, remember, anybody who's on the list right now and they want to go up to more, you're more than welcome to. And if you are on the list and you don't want to be on the list for Bel-Air Plot Farm 2, I'm not sure why you chose crop rotation, but okay, just let me know and I'll take you off the list and we'll get it going from there. This means that everything is said and done. We have 1,719 seeds available, and again, we can buffer this by another 2,000 seeds if needed going into Farm Plot 3, if absolutely necessary, but I would prefer to try to keep it to this next Plot 2 for now, and then we can save the third one for a little bit later, but honestly, if it fills up, and that would be really cool too. Now, to get involved, the first step, again, is to have a property in the Woodhood node and to be in the Discord server. But to get involved and purchase seeds, there are going to be a couple different ways to do it, but all of them first start with going to Discord and going into the Bel-Air Farm server chat. So that way you are in there and just let me know, hey, I'm interested in getting in the Bel-Air Farm Plot 2. What do I need to do? From there, all I need from you is your in-game username, because I need to know who you are so I can send you your UPIX on your harvest, otherwise it's going to be really difficult. So I need your Upland in-game username. Along with that, how many seeds that you're interested in buying. Please remember, there is a cap of 100 seeds. If you already have some on the list, make sure that you adjust for that difference, okay? And then along with that, what your monthly harvest or crop rotation selection is going to be. Selection 1 or 2. They're on the screen there for you, so that way you're locked and loaded there. Once we have all that locked and loaded, then we can go into the easiest way to buy seeds. Now, direct UPIX transfer is by far the easiest way to do it, but the UPIX has to be in your account for 60 days, and not everybody has that, right? So that is the easiest option by far. But I do understand that if it's not available. If it is available, just use the direct UPIX transfer. It saves so much time. Now, when you send a direct UPIX transfer, before we get into the next way, it'll give me a notification and all of that, obviously, so I'll see the username. But it's very helpful if you take a screenshot of it and send it to me so that way I can link the names and everything, because sometimes Discord has different usernames, and it makes it easier to connect the dots. Now, if direct UPIX transfer isn't an option, maybe the UPIX isn't old enough or the KYC isn't done or whatever, the next way that we can go about doing it is through a burner property. Simply tell me how many seeds that you'd like to purchase. I go out and I pick up a property somewhere, and this is where I like having a bit of utility. Let me know an address. If there's a property that fills out a treasure hunting map that might be a little bit more expensive, you're going to have to pay for it, obviously, but make it useful, right? Find something in a treasure hunting map or give me an address or something. That's the one that I'll utilize as a burner property. But effectively, a burner property is, think of it like a spoon to an ice cream relationship. It's just the delivery method. It's not the ice cream. The seeds being the ice cream in this case, the burner property being the spoon. Really, we're just utilizing it to facilitate another trade. So the property in and of itself would be marked up the difference. That's how a burner works. So if you bought 10 seeds, it would be marked up 10,000 UPIX because that's the difference for the seeds. That's how it operates. Now, if you're interested in getting in the farm, but maybe you're interested in only going in with 1 or 2 seeds or a handful of seeds, we can also utilize send payments, which would be going to one of my properties, using sends and having them set to the highest amount possible until you get up to at least 1,000 UPIX. That's kind of a last resort thing because that can be a real big pain, but that is an option if absolutely necessary. Now remember, please reach out and let me know what's going on. Although I love seeing random upics just show up in my account, if I don't know what's happening or why it's there, I'm going to be very confused, right? So please let me know what's going on. Get in touch with me some way, shape, or form, and just give me a heads up as to what's happening so that we're all on the same page. Follow the steps, we should be easy peasy from there. But if you have any questions, of course, use the Discord chat. That's where we're going to be doing all of the communications for this kind of stuff going forward. Speaking of, if you do have any questions aside from using the Discord chat, you can also drop them below in the comments or questions on anything else. I always love hearing from you. That's going to do it for this one though. Super exciting to be going into Farm Plot 2, and depending on how crazy it goes, possibly even Farm Plot 3. This is going to be fun. If you have any questions, you know where to drop them and get a hold of me, but that's going to do it. Enjoy, thanks for watching, and we'll see you out on the farm fields. Thanks, bye.